Yo, what up? We are back with a follow-up video on the new British light tank, the Senlac. Of course, we are in Studenski right now on the east side of the spawn. But first, please consider subscribing to this channel if you are here for the first time and turning on your notifications. It helps my channel out a lot. Please give it a like, this video a like if you enjoyed the information that you are going to get out of this video today. Now we are in the east spawn. I'm getting shot by my own teammate. We have an L32 in our team, so I'm expecting the L32 to take the north side. Why am I not going to the north side into the bush? Well, because this tank is not made for doing that. I'd love to get into the north side, but this tank does not have that kind of camouflage values, the kind of mobility, and it's just not a good tank to be taking up that bush in the north side. I could be in the middle of the map spotting, but again, this tank is very fragile. Going down into the ditch is kind of like a suicide mission. You can see the enemy teams doing that right now, and it's not gonna end up well for them. But here's the problem. The problem is our L32 is sniping from the bushes in the base, and that's not good at all. But first, let's talk about the Senlac. The Senlac has got a gun that has great it has good DPM, 2375 if you have it fully kitted out, 189 penetration on the standard shells. Now I'm going to compare this to the Tech 3 LHMTV and the Tier 9 GSOR as well. But I know none of you have played these tanks. These tanks are so famous for being bad that none of you have played it. So I'm going to compare them with tanks you're more familiar with, the M41 Bulldogs, LT432s, the T92s. Those are the tanks you're more familiar with. Well, this tank has 189 penetration, like I said, on the standard penetration, standard shells, standard AP shells. On the premium shells, APCR, it has 223 penetration. Now that kind of penetration is actually worse than the LHMTV standard shells. So the premium shells have got lower penetration than the standard shells on the LHMTV. That's kind of weird. So this tank has got nothing to do with the Tech 3 Tier 8 equivalent or the Tier 9 equivalent, and that's because the Tech 3 versions of this tank are really slow in terms of reloading. The LHMTV reloads in 8.5 seconds, the GSOR Tier 9 reloads in 8 seconds, but the Senlac reloads in 4.5 seconds. It's totally different kind of tank. So to play it, if you're gonna expect the same thing from the Tech 3 version of this tank, it's not. It's gonna be totally different. Also, the camo values of this tank, if you did play the Tech 3 versions of this tank, which I know you didn't, the LHMTV actually sports a 42% camo rating, which is really high. If you compare it to other light tanks, for instance, the LT432 only has about 39% camo rating, which is one of the highest. The highest, of course, is the ELC Even, which is close to 50%, 49%, 50% camo rating. So the LHMTV has very high camo rating at 42%. The Senlac, however, is only 33% camo rating, which puts it on par with the HWK or the WZ132 or the M41 Bulldog. It plays like a big light tank. So the camo rating is terrible, but the view range is really good. The view range is similar to a M41 Bulldog or a HWK, close to the 500 range. That is the advantage of this tank. So it's got terrible camo, but it's got good view range, it's got good penetration. Now in this game I fired like 22 shots or something like that. I'm shooting almost all standard shells at the moment. As you can see, I fired about 20 plus shots and I hit about 18 of them, and no surprise, all 18 of them penetrated. So that's a good advantage about the Senlac. Now I've noticed that we have destroyed those light tanks. So what I'm going to do is send it down the south and risk it for the biscuit, try to spot, try to take some risks, try to support my team out on the south side, because I can't go to the north because I don't have the combat capability and the camouflage value to take those bushes up at the north. Now if I was in an if I was in an LT432 in my team, I would have gone to the north side to use my camo and try to outspot the enemy teams that are most probably in that bush up north, you know. And that is where I would have been if I was in an LT432, but I am not. I'm in a Senlac, and a Senlac it's just not that kind of tank that you can take up those aggressive positions. Although it has formidable forward and reverse speeds, it doesn't turn like a nimble LT432. So I can't go up there and take those kind of aggressive positions. I have to sit back somewhere in the middle or somewhere at the back to try and spot and try and snipe from a distance in the early game. And then in the mid game and late game, that's when this tank is going to shine, especially in an open map like this where I have the opportunity to get into some bushes, to get into some cover, use my stealth, a little bit of stealth, not the greatest of stealth, but to use my what little stealth I have and what kind of gun accuracy that I can get out of this gun. And that's where I'm going to use, that's where I'm going to make the most out of this tank. Now there's an opportunity to shoot these guys here, so what I'm going to do is use these buildings to shield myself from the tank destroyers on the west side, the Scorpion that used to be there. And I'm going to try and shoot an S1, shot him a couple of times. Now this is the riskiest part of the entire game, for me anyway. We have a substantial lead, 7-4, and I feel like I can take that risk right now, so I'm out in the open. If I get shot by that Scorpion one time, it would be okay. I would still survive. Oh, now I'm spotted. This is really bad for me. I'm hoping that my team can take out this tank before he can do some real hurt to me, and that's exactly what happened. So very fortunate there. So like I said, the highlight of this tank is the gun, the forward and reverse speed. The view range is pretty good. The camo is just so-so. It's completely different from the LHMTV or the GSOR, which the LHMTV 42% camo rating. Basically, it is a, you know, it's a ninja tank. Like the GSOR, you use your camo and your view range and sniping a lot from the distance. With the Senlac, you get spotted all the time, so you've got to be really, you got to tiptoe across the map. Even in open maps like this, even though I am a light tank, even though there are no other light tanks around, I got to tiptoe. I got to be really careful, because once you get spotted now, like you can see, there was a lot of TDs on this map. When I was rushing forward, a lot of them still haven't been spotted. In fact, the Revelry still haven't been spotted on the map yet. So that guy could do a real ton of damage to me. And right now I've switched to the premium shells, which gives me, I think, 230 plus penetration. And I'm switching to that because I was expecting to shoot that a Type 59 gold on the side, which I was thinking that I might have to shoot this guy on the side and try to penetrate him, which is why I switched to the gold. And besides my AP shells, only one left in the tank, so that was what I was trying to do. But I missed him, and someone's taken him out. And I expected the Revelry to be here, but I didn't expect him to be looking at me. But anyway, I'm gonna be safe from him. I can shoot him twice because I have 4.5 seconds of reload, so I'm just going to toy around with this guy, and I'm going to end up finishing him off. Easy game. You don't get a lot of games like this because this tank just doesn't give you that opportunity to do that very often. But when you do, you've got to maximize its potential. You've got to try to play it safe early in the game, and in the mid to late game, that's when you try to get aggressive, use a little bit of your HP to deal, you know, to trade for some HP for the end game. Use your view range because you've got great view range, terrible camo. Use your penetration, your long distance sniping, and those are the highlights and good points of this tank. Is this tank for everyone? No, it's not. It is for somebody who likes light tanks a lot, who likes the challenge. If you're going to buy a light tank, obviously you're going to buy the LT432, and that is still going to be the king of the light tanks in Tier 8. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.